James Gunn and Legendary, as in the studio Legendary, both not thrilled with their movies being part of the Warner Brothers or Warner, was it Warner Brothers or Warner Entertainment or something? I can't remember which branch of Warner it's in. Just call it Warner.
Warner Brothers.
Being part of Warner Brothers straight to HBO Max deal with their films. Well, James Gunn, not necessarily his films necessarily, but he was talking about how he wasn't necessarily thrilled with it. Legendary specifically may be sending legal letters to Warner Brothers in challenge.
Isn't Suicide? Is it Suicide?
Yeah, Suicide's. Yeah. That's
James Gunn.
Yeah, no, this is James Gunn. So that he wasn't like, he wasn't at the Legendary thing where he was like, all right, I'm now going to send you some legal notices. So Legendary is sending legal letters or allegedly sending legal letters to Warner Brothers in challenge of Dune and Godzilla releasing. Reportedly, Legendary was in talks with Netflix to host the Godzilla film for $250 million just for Godzilla. But Warner Brothers blocked the deal and went ahead with the HBO Max deal without consulting Legendary at all. And so Legendary and Warner Brothers will apparently be having some infighting here over the whole deal. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Legendary co-funded and co-produced the film.
Well, it's this is what I'm talking about. This is, there's a lot of politics that go along in the movie business.
Well, it's kind of hard for them to not be upset when they don't even consult the other fucking
Yeah, and a lot of these movies too. Some of the actors, directors, executive producers, et cetera, they get back end pay. Like part of their deal is, hey, once this movie gets profitable.
Yeah, you get
anything above and beyond that, they get bonuses.
Yep.
And a lot of the times these contracts, like sometimes actors and actresses and directors and stuff, they do like a base pay. It's the same thing in UFC where, you know, if it's a main event, say it's like Conor McGregor, and he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do pay me $4 million guaranteed for the fight. But then they have a back end pay-per-view percentage. And they get paid according to that. And that's where the real money's at. That's where like the big money's at. And people pour their heart and souls into making a product that, you know, hopefully will do very well so that they get back end points. If the movies aren't going to the theaters and, you know, or they are going to the theaters, but they're also going on digital at the same time, that's going to eat into that box office specific back end deal, because a lot of the times they don't get back end on streaming, on Blu-ray stuff. It's box office. I'm sure that there are deals put in place for certain people, likely not actors and actresses, more of the producers and you know the callers behind the scenes, but the suits. But yeah, there is a lot going on here, and people, you know, for Warner Brothers just go, okay, you know what? We're going to bump up our HBO subscription so we can stop the bleeding a little bit. You know, it is what it is. Also, we talked about piracy last week.
Yes.
Piracy.
Do we have new news?
Oh, piracy has gone up massively on new release movies that were like premium VOD movies. So we're talking, you know, the Mulan or any of these other movies that are going out that were supposed to go.
I don't blame them for Mulan.
Exactly. But apparently Wonder Woman is going to get absolutely demolished. Tenet got fucked. I mean, Tenet is getting boned so hard right now. All of these. Essentially, it was exactly what I was saying. As soon as there is a perfectly good Blu-ray or 4K, whatever rip on the internet, people are just they're just watching it on the internet because it's free. And people, believe it or not, whether we're paying customers or not, would rather watch it for free than not.
Of course.
A lot of the times as well, is these digital copies are getting released and leaked before they actually go on these premium sites. They're just getting leaked. Don't know how they're getting leaked, but they're just getting leaked. Probably because
the same way everything else got leaked. Somebody internally went, hey, I could use some money, and somebody offered to pay them for it.
Yeah. So rolling back down to this, you look at someone like James Gunn and some of these other people that are like, dude, a lot of our money is getting wrecked here. You're gonna stream it. It probably wasn't part of their deal. Obviously, these movies have been filmed. Some of them are still being filmed now. Like, I think Matrix might have just wrapped or it's getting close. But for the most part, when they did these contracts, they were just thinking a normal movie-going business as usual, but coronavirus hit. Now these studios are
with coronavirus hitting, everyone is in save my own ass mode. So like Warner Brothers is in save my own ass, Legendary is in save my own ass, agencies for the actors, for the bonuses you're talking about are in save my ass mode. Everyone, and it stands to reason that the people that are at the very top of the chain that ultimately are pointing the ship in which direction it goes are the ones that, if they decide to save their ass, everyone below them is going to get fucked. I mean, it's like you're on the ship with the captain, and the captain's looking into the storm going, we could go around this storm, we could go through it, and everyone else on board is like, well, we're here, we're part of this crew, but ultimately, if the captain says we're going to go through this motherfucker, we're going along for the ride. There ain't nothing we can do about it. We're just fucking, we're here for it, whether we're getting fucked or not. This is two ways around it. So,
several hours later, is anybody up?
Can anybody hear me?
Because the ship is sinking. People aren't happy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think this is some noise that has to be made, and I think Legendary is probably just going to try and get a piece, get paid off a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep good grace, and weather this storm. But yeah. that 200 Legendary in talks with Netflix to host Godzilla for $250 million. That's insane.
That's a lot of money, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, did people really want to see Godzilla that bad? I mean, how many Godzilla movies do we really need?
I mean, of those two, Dune for 250. Okay, I could understand maybe Dune pulling enough because that's from a movie standpoint. I think that's the bigger budget, bigger dick of the two in the room.
Yeah, I mean, Godzilla is probably like fucking $180 million to make.
Oh, it's a very expensive movie, but I would say between the two, Dune is probably going to be the
that was 2016. Let me see, Godzilla. Yeah, I mean, Dune. They'd have to spend more than $250 million.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine Godzilla is probably expensive as well. This is so VFX heavy.
What if Yeah.
$155 million.
Okay. So what if they were doing just for the coronavirus season, right? They did these simultaneous releases, but they pitched to these streaming services to buy the movies for the streaming services at cost. So they charged them what did you say it was? 155 or
155 million.
155 million. So they go to Netflix and they say, we'll give you Godzilla for 155 million. And then they're also releasing in theaters. So if they're trying to hedge their losses, like you're unlikely to sell, like you just said, your reaction, Netflix would probably have the same fucking reaction. If you go to Netflix and you have Godzilla and you say, we'll give you Godzilla for $250 million, Netflix would say, who in the fuck is going to watch this enough that I'm going to sit here for $250 million? It's probably not going to happen. But $185 million or $155 million, that's feasible for Netflix, while also getting them at the gray and then hoping that the theater then puts them over. What about something like that?
Well, I don't think that that's very feasible unless they were sort of we're definitely going to lose money. I think at $155 million budget, then you'd basically double that for marketing. They probably wouldn't market it as much as.
Yeah, I'm not taking marketing in consideration where you're normally almost doubling the budget, but yeah.
Yeah, because Liz, you spend $100 million on a movie, you spend another
market.
$100 million in marketing.
Yeah.
That's just how it is typically.
Yeah.
That's the reason why like Borat 2 and stuff, when they got bought out, the reason why they sold is because it covered it covered the budget, plus they made a good profit and they didn't have to do the marketing. So like Amazon, they're the one, because they sold the movie. This isn't like an HBO thing where they're like leasing the movie for 30 days.
Yeah, no, it was a straight up sell.
Sold the property. Like, hey, this is yours. You want to sell it? You want to, I don't care. You want to give it for free? You go ahead and do that. That means their hands are wiped clean. Same with Coming to America, which is coming out very soon. Coming to America 2. Like Eddie Murphy sold that movie. So they don't have to spend the money to advertise it. They basically let the marketing train of like Amazon or Netflix to do all that burden themselves. If they do this thing where they go, okay, I'm going to sell you the movie for the budget, they still have to go out and double that budget in marketing if they're going to go do it in theaters.
Yes.
Also, on top of that, Netflix isn't going to want, like, if Netflix is going to buy a movie, they want it exclusively on Netflix. They're not going to be like, dude, I'm not going to spend your budget and then you're going to go put it in theater as well. Fuck that. It's going on Netflix exclusively. They want to put the exclusively on Netflix on that fucking piece of on that movie, because that's going to drive the memberships. It's going to keep people keep their subscriptions going, and they're going to want to take ownership of that. That there's a lot of, and not only that, it's a big fuck you to the other streaming services. This is like walking in a room and there's a beautiful woman there, and and then you're in Cyberpunk and you want to whip your dick out, and there's the dudes coming whipping their dicks out trying to show off like, hey, I got the bigger dick. Right? I got pick me. I got the bigger dick. That's
there's actually a glitch where your dick phases through your pants anyway, so your dick is just always out.
Okay, great. So that's what this is like for streaming services. They want to be the ones that are known publicly that if you're not part of Netflix, you're not getting the best of the best. And there's money within that too, where they're like, fuck that. If I'm buying this, it's only on Netflix. This ain't available anywhere else. And so no. If they were going to pay $250 million to host it on Netflix, it's not going in theater. It is absolutely not going in the theater. And think about it. They do $250 million to host Godzilla. Costs $155 million to make, right? Add another, they did do some marketing for this already. So you add like, say, another $50 million. Say they're in for $200 million. They made $50 million on the movie. That ain't bad. I mean, a $50 million profit isn't bad, especially during the season that we're in right now. So yeah, no. I see where you're coming from. It's like you're sort of hedging your bets, but you can't have your cake and eat it too, because Netflix also isn't stupid. They're not going to be the ones that are hedging people's bets and being that little thing in the middle.
I understand. My thought was that, like, if you would be selling it on a streaming service exclusively to Netflix and it's in theater at the same time, similar to what they're doing with HBO Max. I know that HBO Max is owned by the people that are also putting the movie.
That's why they get away with it. Right?
But I still thought in my mind, if people didn't want to go to theaters to see it right away because of the coronavirus, but they wanted to watch it at home, then they'd go to Netflix because that's where your option is at home. It wouldn't be as many people as if you exclusively made it on Netflix, where there's no theater option. But that was kind of my idea, was that if they at least covered it at cost for the streaming service exclusivity, and then let it go to theaters, that maybe that gives everyone, because it isn't exclusive, but it's going to Netflix at $100 million less, and so that would be like, it's kind of. But I understand what you mean, and I don't disagree. But it's a crazy time. It's crazy because technically everyone is hedging bets right now, because they're trying to. Everyone's just trying to. They have to. Everyone's doing it. So
I mean, everybody's getting wrecked. I mean, trust me, the movie studios, all of the movie theaters, they just wish this never happened. I mean, but this happened, and it's disrupting the entire industry. And we're going to continue to see what happens. Fortunately, there seems to be good news coming with vaccines and all this other stuff. So, but this is still going to take like another year before things even remotely start to have some normalcy again.
Fall of 2021 would be like the earliest window where it's really truly getting, like when they say we're going to start to get back to normal in January through April, that's more like we don't have to go into as hard lockdowns in some of the areas like old folks' homes and like shit, because the people that we're going to be getting the vaccine to first. This isn't like the 30-year-olds going to a movie theater aren't going to be vaccinated out the ass. It's not going to be them first. So, it is going to be some time. So they still have quite a ways to be in this position of hedging. And just saying, look, would it have been nice? Yes, but if we sit on this for longer, it's almost like inventory cost. Eventually, you're just going to lose more money than you'd make if you just took the hit and put it out like these movies are getting put out. So, yeah, crazy time. Crazy time.